My name is Matt Bird, and I want to welcome you to the PublishU podcast, where we explore the real life stories of authors from around the world. Today, we're talking to Nora Boghossian from Los Angeles, who's written an amazing book called The Next. Nora, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Nora, tell us about what it is you do in your professional life.
I'm actually in the legal industry. I've been a paralegal for more than 20 years.
Wow.
And and I've also done some legal recruiting, legal sourcing, finding work for people in the legal industry, attorneys, paralegals, and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you've
And
developed a little kind of thing on the side, haven't you?
I've always loved to write,
Yeah.
and I always knew that I wanted to write a book. I just never knew what I would end up writing first, like what my first
Yeah.
book would be about.
Yes.
But
But tell us
so,
about this thing that you do on the side.
yes, and so I also facilitate women with regards to their breakups and separation and divorce. I have a support group that I lead, and I also facilitate one-on-one private sessions for them. Um,
Great.
yeah, yeah.
So so you get a small group of women together in person or online?
Pre-COVID, I did them in person.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. But since COVID, I've been hosting them via Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long do women join your group for?
It's as long as they need to return. I have, an open door for them. They can come when they feel like they need to return and when they feel good, and complete, they're free to move on. Um, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
been really helpful. It's been really rewarding to see women, the transition that they go to.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, in an ideal world, we never break up, separate, or divorce. But we don't live in an ideal world, do we? We live in
I
a
know.
world that's flawed, and we all get things wrong, and so it's a wonderful service that
Thank you.
you offer.
Thank you.
And as a man, I'm quite interested. Do you know of men who facilitate groups like this for men?
Absolutely. Yes, there are professionals who do that as well. On a professional level, they do it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. I work specifically for with women.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
it's great. And so,
Yeah.
what three pieces of advice do you give the most often to the women in your support group? What are the three things that come up time and time again that you're encouraging women and reassuring women about?
Right. Um, it depends on what stage they're at, whether it's a breakup from a committed relationship or a divorce. But I feel like one of the things that comes up is they often say, I thought this was going to be forever. I didn't think Wilson was going to be with them for the whole time.
Yeah,
And I always tell them this happens often because you're either graduating from each other, so to speak. Your lives are going in different directions. There's a whole host of reasons, but there's really not a wrong or right situation. It's that you're just evolving to be a different person and you're not aligned with each other any longer. And so that comes off a lot.
yeah,
um, Another issue that comes up is that they have difficulty with the process of separating from each other, because of financial reasons, let's say. In some situations, it's difficult.
sure.
Another issue that comes up is a lot of times women would have uprooted themselves to move to a whole different country to be with this man. And lo and behold, the relationship falls apart and they feel abandoned because they have no friends, they have no family, it's a new environment for them. So they have to kind of start over. And some people stay and build a family, they forge
Yeah.
their own family and environment, and some have to go back. Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. So some really big issues you
Yeah.
help women grapple with,
And that's just a few examples.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's so
intellectually,
many.
emotionally.
Yeah.
So Nora, you decided you wanted to write a book. Why did you want to write a book?
So, as I've always wanted to write a book, I mentioned earlier, but I've also been a writer. I've published some articles, and I've also just enjoyed writing just personally as well. And once I started doing these support groups, I saw like these themes that like I mentioned right now, and just other themes as well that kept repeating.
Mm.
It's interesting because often we think this is only happening to us, where they don't realize, we don't realize that the same issues come up in many relationships
Mm.
with different people.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's the same issues that come up.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when I saw that, it just kind of got me thinking, I want to write about these things that are coming up. I think it'll be great for people to look back on and read. So first I started a blog, and after the blog, I did a few published writing articles.
yeah,
And then I'm like, I think this is what my book's going to be about.
yeah.
And
And then
then
you
I
met
was
me.
I know, and what happened was, then I got stuck as to how am I going to do this? So I
Yeah,
kept asking myself how, and then I ended up meeting you. I'm like, okay, this is how.
this is how.
This is how, yeah,
Brilliant, brilliant. And Nora, I mean, what was it about the writing my book course that helped you the most?
yeah. So this was an amazing experience for me to be in this workshop. It really was a dream come true to see it come to fruition. I was uh, very much needing guidance and structure,
Yeah,
because I was just like, where, what, I didn't know. And so you gave us a structure that was easy to follow, and you gave us a focus, easy to remain centered. Each week when we met, you said, this is all you guys need to focus on, so that's it. Forget about everything else, just focus on this one thing. So it's really helpful to have that. And then the other thing I would say is what's helpful was the accountability, to be able to stay connected and give you like notes as to how far I've come, what have I
yeah,
accomplished.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you did it in a
So
hundred days. You wrote your book.
I did it. I couldn't believe it. It was so amazing. It's
Yeah.
truly like
High
a
five.
dream. High five, dream come true. Absolutely.
And now, Nora, now you've not only written your book, but your book is published.
I
That
know.
make you feel?
Oh, ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. I'm thrilled. I can't believe it. Mostly, it's because it's not only the book, my personal dream come true, but I'm also ecstatic because it's just rewarding because it's and heartwarming. I know that it's going to impact all these women around the world. Uh, dealing with breakups and divorces, so
Yeah,
that's why it's such a meaningful accomplishment for me.
yeah, yeah. And what is it? I mean, you've kind of said it, but I'd love to say a little bit more. What is it you hope your book does? What is it you hope? What's the impact you hope for your book?
Right. You know, when we are in the breakup itself, we can't see straight,
Yeah,
everything is like a blur, and we feel like our life is over, and it just it's doomed, everything is doomed, and we don't see the light. So I'm hoping that this book will be some sort of a beacon of light for them. It will be a hope that they'll see that there's a bright new future ahead for them that is achievable,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. There is always hope. There
Yes,
is always hope. That's such
absolutely.
an important message to communicate, isn't it, for people
Y-
in any circumstance?
Yeah. I've been through it myself, so I know the feeling. I know the devastation, so I know the pain and the heartache. So, and having been through it and on the other side, I feel, confident that they too will get there.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, as we come, I mean, I could chat about this with you
Yeah.
hours, Nora, because it's fascinating. But obviously, guys, get Nora's book. If you're going through a breakup, a separation or divorce, get Nora's book. I mean, and
Thank you.
I'm a real fan of what you've written, Nora. Um, is there anything as we wrap up the interview today you'd love to leave with people that are watching and listening?
Um, just that, I, my mission with this work, just generally speaking, was for them to have a new outlook on relationships as a whole, to not look at it as, you know, finding this one person, finding the one, uh, instead to look at each relationship for what it is right now, to remove and lift off that pressure and expectation from yourself and from the person that you meet, and just be present with the person and enjoy each other.
Mm, mm. Yeah, being
Mhm.
present in the moment. It's for us all. It's such a profound thought, isn't it?
Yeah, because,
Rather than living in the past or living in the future, living in the now and
yeah,
enjoying it to the full, especially the people we're with.
yeah. And, I didn't get here from the beginning. I was that way too. I was thinking, oh, the person, like uh, uh, searching for your partner, or depending on what you're looking for, if it's a committed partner or if it's a spouse, And instead of doing that, I learned to drop that and look at the person, and really focus on that instead.
Mm, mm.
And, hopefully they do the same too.
Yeah, yeah. And you have that conversation, don't you, about
Yeah.
expectations?
And that's part of it too. And if they don't, you know that at least you're not on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Cool. A great thought to leave us with, Nora. Thank you so much. And
yeah,
thank you
thank
all for
you.
listening to the Publish You podcast featuring the genuinely real life stories of authors from around the world. If you're interested in becoming a globally published author like Nora, please do visit our website, www.publishu, the letter U, publishu.com. And also, if you enjoyed this broadcast, make sure you subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye for now.